Nice haddock. Out here tuna fishing, there's just times where you know it ain't happening. If there's no tuna to catch, there's no tuna to catch. So plan B, and plan B out here is ground fishing, which, you know, a lot of my fishing buddies will accuse me of liking ground fishing more than tuna fishing. But I like to keep it simple. I just repurpose the gear I'm already using. Here I'm using the Heavy Flutter Pitch Jig on my traditional spinning jigging outfit. All I'm gonna do is cut this jig off and add our Jig-Biki teaser, and that's gonna give me two bets, a little bait bet and a big bait bet. Now you'll notice that I have the olive flutter pitch jig on. You know, I'm not sure how much color matters here, but olive's a good starting color for me, in my opinion anyway, because A, there's a lot of sand eels out here, so they're accustomed to olive colored baits. But I also find a lot of crabs in the bellies of the haddock and the cod that I clean back at the dock. You know, again, we're on the south side of Cape Cod, so we have you know, perhaps better cod regulations than they do on the north side of the Cape. So it's definitely a worthwhile fish to target as a plan B. So again, the only modification I'm going to do is put on this Jig-Biki rig. So I have, again, my little baits, my little bet up top, my big bet down below, and I'm going to find some good fertile ground. I'm going to look for a live bottom, and I'm just going to drop these jigs. So I just popped my flutter pitch jig off momentarily before I put on my Jig-Biki rig. Now, I love this rig. It's made with premium 60-pound test fluoro, so it's perfectly fine for ground fish out east here, east of Chatham in today's case. I would not try to catch a tuna on this rig. It's not designed for that. These rigs are popular with sea bass, scup, or porgy. The name depends on where you're from. Fluke. In today's case, hopefully cod, haddock, pollock, I don't know, something cool off the bottom. I just love ground fishing, and yep, just tied the rig on direct. Again, I'm just using my tuna gear. I'm not going to bring extra gear. Those that know me know I'm very minimalist in how much gear I bring, how many outfits. I like to have a nice, clean, easy space to work with on a boat. I'm in deep water. I'm using heavy jig, so why not the heavy gear? And the beauty is this is a Stella 20,000 reel. Again, overkill for ground fishing. But since I'm just repurposing my tuna gear, I can, the upside to having that large reel is when I'm bringing the baits up, in today's case, 250 feet of water, the amount of line per crank on this reel is very impressive. So you can get your baits up quick, back down quickly, and off you go. It's just a very ergonomic outfit. I'm not going to say it's the light tackle setup for inshore ground fishing, but again, we're in deep water. We're plan Bing, and we're coming home with dinner, so we're not worried too much about style points. We're worrying about dinner points. So here it is, my rig, my little baits, my big bait. You'll notice that the teasers on this rig match the Biki style assist hook. Now I just, for whatever reason, I think that's cool. I like matching systems. I like how things work together. This is just a tidy little system. This flutter pitch jig is going to have a very natural action as I lift it off the bottom. So I'm just going to send this rig down. We have good live bottom on the fish finder. We're here. You know, it's go time. In case you can't tell, I get very excited for ground fishing in deeper water. It just, I don't know, brings out the 9-year-old boy in me. I never know what I'm going to catch down there. It really could honestly vary anywhere from a mackerel all the way up to a big haddock. You know, in these cold water regions, there's just a multitude of species, most of which are very good eating. And it's going to send it all the way down to the bottom here. God. Yeah, baby. Now that's what we're looking for. A big brown bomber like this guy on the flutter pitch jig. Beautiful fish. This guy's a keeper here on the south side of the Cape. Keep your codfish, but here we go. Beautiful fish. Gonna get this guy on ice and have a New England dinner, maybe this time tomorrow night. There we go, in the baking pan. These are a couple of real big redfish. I'm gonna let these guys go. Now these rigs are also good mackerel rigs, very multi-purpose. Not what we're after right this minute. but they do make good mackerel rigs. So here's a good example of some live bottom. Now every unit is different. You can see how there's like a hard top of like a little blue. I like to call it furry bottom. So you have the orange, and then you have those little crusty or furry, what I call furry patches. On my unit, that's all I look for, is that little furry, call it furry, little topping right there. And to me, 275 feet of water, that's fish. So one thing I've found over the years of ground fishing in deep water is that less is more. I think a lot of people are associated, especially particularly with fishing metals, in that whole speed jigging technique. I find, especially if you have the teasers like this Jig-Biki rig here, the slower the better, just super slow motions. Now the Heavy Flutter Pitch Jig is our slow pitch style jig, so it's designed to be fish slow. When it comes off the bottom, it's going to flutter back down. And you have those beaky teasers, again matching that assist hook, just waving above. So if the fish are keyed in on little sand eels down there, you're in the game with the teasers. If they want something larger, if they're keyed in on herring, which is common forage down there for large cod or haddock or pollock, there's just so many cool fish down there, you just don't know. But I mean, I've caught fish using all methods, but truly I find the slower you fish these rigs, the more fishy they're going to behave. And I'm just fluttering this jig right off the bottom. And I keep tending bottom by letting line out as they drift off. And just fish it super slow. I'll even just let it sit, like I'm fishing bait almost. And then just lift it off the bottom, put it back down, lift it up the bottom, put it back down. Now sometimes I'll reel it up 25 feet off the bottom. I don't know, it doesn't need to be exact. Then I just set it back down. I think sometimes just repointing it, well, A, helps you hold bottom, but just creates a little commotion, a little movement. And so now I'm back on bottom. Just fishing it super slow, lifting that tip up, putting it back down. It's really super easy to fish these. And you're playing two bets, a big bait bet and a little bait bet, all in one rig. Dude. Nice pollock. It's a nice pollock. These fish are good fighters. I like to call these guys the bluefish of the deep. They have a darker meat than a cod. They're actually good eating, good fighters. And I'm going to take this guy home. They're actually a really nice smoked. So I'm going to smoke this guy the same recipe I would use for smoking bluefish.